This right here is the first game created in 1958 by a physicist. It is called Tennis for Two and was played on oscilloscope. And this is how a latest video game looks like. And if you're talking about a tennis game, now it's played using VR sets. From the world's first game in 1958 to the latest release in December 2024, a lot has changed over the 66 years. And the gaming industry has grown tremendously. It started growing rapidly from the year 1970, and in the year 2022, it generated a revenue of $180 billion all alone. And in 2024, it was $187.7 billion, which is 4% growth in just 2 years. The gaming industry has been remarkable. For example, while the global box office revenue was $32.3 billion, the gaming industry revenue reached $187.7 billion, which is 5.8 times more. More than 40% of world's population play games. These are some of the remarkable achievements of gaming industry. But all these accomplishments are built on the graves of passionate game developers.
I could raise you up. I could help you keep the music streak and it's all night to ski the day.
Nowadays, game companies seem to care only about profits, often releasing games that are incomplete or underdeveloped. The best example is initial release of Cyberpunk 2077. Like, what the fuck is this glitch-ass game? They have taken years just to release this dog water, buggy, laggy glitch game. There are compilation videos of bugs and glitches of Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk was announced in May 2012. Trailers for the game were released in January 2013, and at E3 2018 and at E3 2019. At E3 2019, they have announced the release date as 16th April 2020. Then it was delayed to 19 November, and then finally to 10th December. The developers even received death threats for the delays. They have taken 8 years just to release this.
You could be my bop. Even if the streak is ending now, I know that we're in Sigma Town.
You may ask me, Calvin,
Why is that?
it's because unrealistic deadlines are set by investors. For example, let's say a game is tied to an upcoming movie or event. Companies rush to release it in time to capitalize on the hype and boost sales. So these companies tend to satisfy the investors first before the actual players who care about and purchase their games, resulting in underdeveloped releases.
Oh my god, it feels so good. Oh yeah. Oh, slow down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Oh my god. Oh yeah, play with my balls. Play with my balls. Oh, that feels so good. Yeah, just roll them around. They're so good. Oh my god. I love it when you. Uh-oh, slow down. Don't move. I'll go get you a towel.
This, in turn, significantly affects the lives of developers, as I mentioned earlier. Due to these unrealistic deadlines, companies often pressure developers to complete the game within the given time frame. As we know, work-life balance is very important. There's nothing to do in life as we are all alone and single, but usually employees work for 8 hours a day, for 5 to 6 days per week. That is around 40 to 48 hours. But companies force the developers to work for 100 hours per week from Monday to Sunday. That's like 14 freaking hours per day. All this stress and pressure to work 14 hours per day just to get farted on face like, what the?
Cecilia, in your report, you said that if there were no women in a meeting, one of the managers would fart on someone's face.
Yeah.
And that is fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
Exploiting employees is not okay, but at least acceptable. But here comes the real deal. The darkest segment.
In Sigma Town.
We know that women often face significant backlash in society, but they continue to defy the odds, work hard, secure jobs, and provide for their families. Now most of them do only fans or adult films, but however, in the gaming industry, it's even worse. Women often face sexual harassment and are sometimes offered raises or promotions in exchange for sexual favors. The male to female ratio in gaming industry is 3:1, meaning for every woman there are 3 men, which means force, which often leads to women being outnumbered and dominated. Every company gives rating to an employee based on how hard they work, to encourage and build a friendly competition between the employees. But imagine getting rated based on looks, like the sexiest employee list. Now you may ask me, what company does this? Reveal the name. No, I'm not doing that. Can't say the name.
I heard stories ranging from women not being able to hire other women into positions of leadership. I was also hearing stories about other women being on a list of like sexy employees that higher ups at the company wanted to sleep with. A lot of men told me about this COO like going behind them and humping them at meetings where women weren't present.
I can fill you up. You know my jack, I won't ejaculate. The kids who still watch Hendrix say.
After all the overwork, harassment, and underpayment, these companies often make things worse by laying off employees unpredictably. Companies often overspend on marketing and development without proper planning, leading to budget cuts. And if a game doesn't perform well, companies may not recover development costs, leading to downsizing. After intense crunch periods, developers are often laid off, despite their contributions. As companies cut costs after a game's release, layoffs frequently happen after major releases or during the fiscal year end, when companies reevaluate the budgets. Sudden layoffs create stress and anxiety for employees, especially when they have already endured crunch periods and toxic environments. Layoffs make the industry feel unreliable, deterring talent from pursuing long-term careers in gaming.
You could be my pop. Even the cat's always losing bounds. I know that we're a Sigma town.
Unionization has been a growing topic of discussions in the gaming industry, as employees seek better protections against issues like layoffs, overwork, harassment, and underpayment. Unions negotiate on behalf of employees for better pay, reasonable working hours, and fair treatment, helps establish clear boundaries for work hours and overtime compensation. It encourages companies to address workplaces harassment and toxic behavior, ensures employees have access to health benefits, mental health support, and reasonable workloads. As more employees speak out about industry issues, support for unionization grows more and more. Public backlash against companies like Activision, Blizzard, and Riot Games pushes the conversation forward. Unionization efforts are spreading across the globe, with organizations adapting to different labor laws in various countries. In conclusion, all I ask is that support game developers and indie gaming companies that treat their employees with respect. I'm not saying to stop buying games from big companies entirely. That's unrealistic. But let's also help support the developers who are standing up against unfair work conditions. Together, we can encourage a healthier, more equitable gaming industry. You might think the CSGO community is toxic, but it's nothing compared to PID